Welcome to another Todd's
2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday.
brought to you by the National RV Training Academy, the largest hands-on RV training academy in America. Hey, before we get to the video, which I know this is the reason why you're here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything. Hit the subscribe button now. Thank you. Now, back to our Tech Tip Tuesday. All right, so the first question I have, and here we go. I've recently stopped at an RV park that only had 50 amp service. They gave me a 50 to 30 amp adapter to use, which was nice of them. I'm assuming your RV only has 30 amps. Because if it's 50 amps, that wasn't very nice of them to do that crap. All right, so here we go. When I connected my surge protector analyzer, before hooking it up as procedure, it indicated a reverse polarity. I checked with the other pedestal and it indicated the same thing. I showed the park owner and he was perplexed and told me that a lot of people use the 50 to 30 adapter without problems, but cheerfully gave me a refund and I moved to another park. Was that a wise decision? Using a 50 to 30 amp adapter normally cause that. Wonderful, wise decision that you went ahead and left. A circuit analyzer, what you call surge protector, who's checking everything out as it's coming in, even if it goes from 50 to 30, would not show up as a reverse polarity. Here's the thing. Whenever you have a service, like a pedestal over there, it's only 50 amps. There's 2 hot legs, 1 neutral and 1 ground. Your RV's 30 amps, so it's only got 1 hot leg, 1 neutral and 1 ground. That adapter, all it does is abandon that second leg, right? The second hot leg. So you get 1 hot leg, 1 neutral leg, and 1 ground, right? Fashioned to your outlet, right? It never even sees the second leg there. So your analyzer actually saved you. It was doing its job. And unfortunately, there may have been something going on in the park where there was a reverse polarity situation. Wise of you to go ahead and move. Wise of you to go ahead and tell the park owner. If you didn't have the analyzer and people are using the 50 to 30, this is why it probably didn't show up. Now, whether that indicates that it's going to automatically hurt something, don't know. But what we need to do is follow, whatever that analyzer says, and then have a qualified technician, or in this case, it's at the RV park, get an actual electrician in to find out what's going on with the service there. So absolutely do not be smarter than your analyzer. It saves you in a lot of ways. So absolutely wonderful what you did. All right. Here's the other question that we have. This is from Zorenzo, and that's how I'm going to say it. Zorenzo. Hey, I love your tech tips. Well, wonderful question. Thank you so much. There's your tech tip. Next question. No, he says this. Hey, I don't know where the question should be sent, which is in the comments typically, but hey, since this is YouTube, I get it. You would think there's so many different files or things that you could put it in, but you know what? You went to the right place for the questions. I don't know where the question should be, but I'll send my question here. When I pull my 2 slides in or out, one's electric and one's hydraulic, should I have the engine running, or can I just pull them in without the engine running? Is it okay to leave the 50 amp service and connect with or without the engine running when running the slides in or out? Now you said you had a question, and so far we're at 2. So you got to work on your tense, right? Whenever you say, hey, I have some questions, not a question. By the way, let's go ahead and throw some more information out there. I have a 2016 Tiffin open road gas engine V10 on a Ford chassis. Oh, it's a good truck there. Most of the time it works fine with the engine off. A few times, in only 8 years, it required that I start the engine. All right, so here's the thing. I'll answer your specific question, but I need to follow up with this. Now, when it comes to motor coaches, okay, when it comes to motor coaches, I will say always read the manual because they will have some additional information in there. There's different manufacturers out there. They have different things. Now, your slides, regardless if they're hydraulic or electric, run on 12 volts, and they're heavy. And so they pull a lot from the battery. Now, the question you were asking is, should I leave my engine running to help assist getting the slides up? Wonderful question, because whenever the engine is running, your alternator is going to help, of course, with your coach batteries, get the large loads out. So, yes, what you're experiencing, as you said, most of the time, everything works just fine. That lets me know you got at least a decent battery, trying to go ahead and take care of the slides. Maybe your slides are not as big as a lot of others, but absolutely you want to keep the engine running to help get those slides out. And if you have leveling gear on a motor coach, you want to keep that engine running as well. Now, for those of you that are watching this, and maybe you have a towable, you say, well, I can leave the truck running, running down that 7-pin connector, but this is what you do. If you have a towable, whether it's going to be a bumper pull or a fifth wheel, go ahead and hook up your power cord, and your converter is going to help the battery. You want the converter and the batteries to kind of help out on the same heavy loads, whether it's putting the landing gear down or, of course, pulling out the slides. So, wonderful question that you had there, Zorenzo, and I love the way you started off. You love the tech tip. All right. So if you have more questions and would like to know them, and let's kind of keep it in the RV-related field because the rest of it I just make up as I go, go ahead and shoot your question in the comments below. And if you like the questions and haven't subscribed yet, what the hell are you doing? Hit the subscribe over here. Hit that button down there. You see a little bell? Hit it. Okay, smash it, crunch it, do whatever you got to do. Have a wonderful day. There's your tech tip. All right, before you get to the bloopers, which is why you're here in the first place, the RV industry needs thousands of RV technicians and inspectors, and now is the perfect time to do that. If you want to make more money or have more control over your time, go ahead and click the link below. Or if you just want to learn how to fix your own RV, got something for you there. Head over to rvtechcourse.com and get started today. Now for the reason that you're at the end of the video, roll the bloopers. And you want the hey, we're only 10,000 away from 90,000. Is that right? Or 100,000? Hey, this week, go ahead and answer a couple of your questions. By the way, we're only 110,000 away from 200,000. So go ahead and click subscribe. Let's get this up to 200,000. Yeah, we're 110,000 away from 200,000.
You made that your own.